Is North Ridge. At the 600 they travel, and the short price Elect leads the way, well held by Noski. It's 3 votes, a half a length. Gigante, who'd come off the fence, he got around the heels here of the leader coming to the corner, pushing up Jewton now right behind them down on the inside. Travelling fourth is Proceed with Caution, Mickey Two Toes, Peninci, Zuccaros getting home along the rail, then General Groove, and further back Smoko. 3 votes tackled by Gigante, who headed him on the rail. Jewton followed by Proceed with Caution. Gigante had hit the front, down on the inside. Jewton coming though. Jewton Proceed with Caution. Peninci, and now Max Almighty. He's coming with a great run. Max Almighty down the outside, lunging at them. They went to the line. He got the dive in. Max Almighty. Max Almighty swooped upon Gigante, and also on the inside Jewton. It's a tight go, but I think he might have had the momentum to get there, and North Ridge was rattling home as well. Mickey Two Toes, Zuccaros right in behind those with Peninci. Proceed with Caution, followed further back by Smoko, General Groove, and 3 votes, no votes today for the short-priced favourite. Max Almighty, he has come right down the outside. Number 10, Patrick Carberry back on board. He produced a very, very good run first up to Man Booker. Got back and not really suited second up. He'll win this. He's come with such a rush as Gigante had hit the front and almost hailed the winner after taking on 3 votes at the top of the straight. Down on the rail, Jewton will be third, Peninci and Northridge behind them. And this short-priced favourite, 3 votes, well, those who thought that he had run 1200 strongly, sadly mistaken today. He finished well back. 1:11.06. 1:11.06 there the time. Max Almighty by Belmont from My Romeo, raced by Mrs. W. Lang and B. and J. Smith. C. Marshall Lang, M. Barton, trained by Alan Matthews. Pat Carberry back there in the saddle. And on that run at the 1200 first up, well, he produced a blinder behind the subsequent Bunbury Stakes winner. And he's come down the outside with a terrific finishing burst to grab them right on the line to win it by a head. A short head second and third. Gigante, again ultra consistent by Stratum from Malta for Sam Trimboli, trained by Jim Taylor, handled by Shelby Botel. And Jewton has finished third. Number 9 by Dusasso from Californium for Lexon Shirley Piper. Jason Whiting in the saddle for trainer Lou Luciani. Peninci number 11 ran fourth. Sectional 35.06. He's paid really well. 15.83.10 Max Almighty. Gigante 170 and Jewton $9.10. So some value there for the exotic players in race 5, first leg of the quaddie. Now race 6, the Schweppes Melvista at listed level over the 2200 for the 3-year-old colts and geldings at 425, and no changes in the next event on the card. Well, let's go down to Adam, and he's with the winning trainer, Alan Matthews, and it wouldn't have been a great surprise to see him win that on his first up run at least. Here's Adam down there in the yard.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Darren. Alan, we mentioned that in the preview where that first up run, beaten 2 lengths by Man Booker, and we've seen that what that horse has done since. We'd known there was going to be speed in this race. You still would have been quietly confident.
Yeah, look, I was happy where he was, but, you know, it's a first try to 78 race, and I just thought these horses were a bit slick for him at this distance. But, you know, listening to Jimmy this morning saying that there'd be pressure on in the race and the way the horse is suited, you've got to ride in quiet, you've got to wait for the last crack at them. Same again, got held up for a bit of a run halfway at the straight, and when that happens, when he gets clear, he really savages the line.
I can imagine that you're maybe not much of a dancer, but I reckon you would have been, as I said, music to the ears, and the feet might have been tapping a little bit when you heard that this morning. And then when we interviewed Jimmy Taylor pre-race, and he says exactly that. We're going to put the pressure on. We're going to make sure this is run at a good tempo to test 3 votes. It was always going to suit horses like yourself, the Jewtons, the Penincis and Northridges that were going to run on. Yeah,
well, I thought that, but I just thought, you know, the front markers were a little bit sharp for him. Like, you know, we won a race with this horse in a 60-plus race this time last year, and all of a sudden he's in a 78. And, you know, they go up in the weights and they've got to keep improving. But credit to him, he's never far out of the money. Last start was just one of those days. He was a bit off colour and it was just the pattern of the day. You just never got into the race. So you just try and forget those races. And, yeah, on his first up run, he was a good chance.
Would this make it difficult to place now by winning that 78 plus?
No, my plans were to go to Geraldton for the sprint next week. So where he's rated, it still might put him in that race really low in the weights.
All right, so the Batavia it is next Sunday, the 2nd April there at Geraldton. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
There's Alan Matthews will grab at Patrick Carberry now as well. And Pat, look, they ran at a nice tempo out in front. And the one thing we know with Max Almighty, he's got a nice turn of foot.
Yeah, look, they always look like they were going to run along. So, you know, sort of, he's a horse that you got to ride off the speed and ride him a bit cold. And he kept getting the runs. He sort of got pratted out into the middle of the track. Inside horse was taking him out a little, but yeah, I thought he done really well. He's a horse that you can't get to the front too early on him. I mean, this is probably his strongest race he's met. Down in the weights, he's done it really well. He's got a fair amount of ability, but he's got his issues, and you know he's got his few little tricks. But I hear that Alan said he might still be going to Geraldton. I was thinking when we were pulling up, we're not going to Geraldton now, so looks like I'm riding next Sunday.
Yeah, exactly right. You don't have the day off now. I'm really glad that you brought up about the way when this horse hits the front. I thought it was your relationship with this galloper that got the win there, because I think a few others might have wanted to go just a little bit earlier, but you knew that you have to get their sort of last stride or 2 strides out, because otherwise the skids do just get put on and he puts the brakes on.
Yeah, well, early on, like last prep, a few times he drew a good lead, and he can begin well, and he can hold the box seat easy, but he just doesn't quite hit the line as good as what he promises. So when he's those couple of pairs further back, he just he can sustain that sprint a bit better. And a few times he looked like he was going to win at Belmont, but didn't win, and a bit disappointing, thinking he's not all that genuine. But I think he's just got that one pattern that he's got to be off the speed.
Well, you've got 8 days now, mate, to plan a carpool to Geraldton. You enjoyed that, and congratulations on the win.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
There's Paddy Carberry, winning jockey aboard a Max Almighty, which has taken out the 1200 metre event, race number 5 here at Ascot, a 78+.